In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening, and welcome to this very, very, very special edition of the Elite FPL show. But it's not the Elite FPL show, it is the Lama Lounge. To give you a bit of context and a bit of background, essentially, I was going to be a guest on our very good friends, Linguistic Lama, Boona, and Matt's show, the Lama Lounge. As we all know, it's all up on screen right now, the FPL debate show. I was going to be a guest. Unfortunately, due to tech issues, we couldn't do it through their channel, so we're doing it through this instead. And I'm going to hand it over to Lama, where he can take it over from here. But what I will say, everybody, is that we're going to be exactly the same as what we were going to be doing on the Lama Lounge. So what I mean by that is there is going to be some colourful language. So if you don't like colourful language, then please do not basically listen. Other than that, hopefully you do stay around. Lama, Matt, Boona, take it away. I can now sit back. I'm even in my dressing gown, everybody. That's how relaxed I was. I didn't even need to be on camera. But go for it, Lama. Take it away. I can now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Well, you thought that your rage transferring and taking -8s, pulling out wild cards, taking a free hit, bench boosting, and you were raging on your tattoo Twitter that you posted out there. You think that was bad? You ain't heard the rant that I've just gave Margaret 2 minutes ago about tech issues in Discord, by the way. Good evening, folks. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And I have to say thanks very much to Steve-O for pulling this out the bag. We got him in such a relaxed state, Matt. He was so chilled. He was actually zen in the background with candles going. And then I'm like, by the way, seemingly I sound like a Dalek and no one can hear a word anyone else is saying. And I'm like, you are joking. We won't be colourful with the language. There might be the odd thing that will slip in here and there. But good evening, people. Thank you very much. And I just want to say thanks again to Steve-O. It was actually a bit of a celebration. Well, we're getting you in anyway. We've already arranged, or trying to arrange, Jason to pop on the screen.
Sorry, have you just seen that comment? Is this the Lama Lounge or the Pajama Lounge?
Well, I know Matt's sitting in his hotel room with just his boxer shorts on, so the imagery that's going on in people's heads now. But
it's
yeah,
all areas. That's what it is. All areas, FPL.
Yeah, exactly. But no, thank you very much, Steve-O. It was a bit of a celebration. Well, we're getting you on anyway. Jason, I think, hopefully will be joining us when work allows it in the next week or so. I've already reached out to about another half a dozen presenters of content. They've all agreed to come into the Lama Lounge. I've just sacked the producer of the Lama Lounge just now there because we had to move from Studio 2 into Studio 1 to join you guys. But hey, we're here now. The Lama Lounge is live. Thanks to Steve-O. Hit over 150 subscribers already, mate. We've only been going 2 weeks, so we're chuffed to bits about that. But anyway, we're in here in Elite's channel, if you like, so don't forget to like it in here either, because this is where it started for us, boys. Steve-O, you know this.
I don't want to speak now. Yes,
it's been 84 years.
So
yeah, this is where it all started. This is when who came on first out of you and Boona? Because I know Matt joined us. Definitely the latest. Was it Boona or Lama? I'm sure it was you, Lama.
No, I think Boona was on first. But I remember I was one of the first though to have a call with us because you, Dan, and Jason thought I was being discreet in the background and just listening in and not actually speaking. And that was when we were discussing the idea of creating a Discord channel, if you remember. That's how long ago it was. But then Boona joined that same phone call that night. And then look where Elite is now.
I'd love to listen back to that, you know. I would love to listen back to my first... No, I don't. I really don't. It's been that long.
But no, listen, I'm so chuffed and I'm glad that we're all here, we're all together and we're just loving life. But Steve-O, we're going to put you in the hot seat. You're the first guest that we've had in the Lama Lounge. I'm not going to put a timer on it, although Matt did text me earlier today and was like, just give him 10 fucking seconds to answer the question. And just
I actually said we'll do a Steve-O to Steve-O and give Steve-O a minute like he's been doing to other people to answer as many questions as possible.
But no, Jay, I know you're right. He's providing the technical stuff to put on the stream, but we're sticking him straight in the hot seat. Nah, you're spot on, mate. So Steve-O, I don't know what the audience know about you?
Nothing.
Or don't know?
Unless they listen to, I'll just quickly plug it, unless you listen to Dre Zera's Uncensored podcast. It is very long, I'm not going to lie, for 3 hours, but that gives you a lot of insight into me personally. But sorry, Lama, carry on.
No, you're all right. Funny enough, we were actually talking about that earlier, and I listened to it after I'd text the questions that I was going to ask you, and Dre's like, have you not listened to my own podcast? I was like, I'd have actually, but I'd already pre-done this. So, but no, it's very good. But as I say, for the audience that we've got in this afternoon, let's get to know Steve-O a little bit better, shall we? What's beneath that dressing gown? No, we'll not go there. Steve-O, where are you from? So, Steve-O, where are you from?
I'm originally from a place called Torbay in Devon, which is East Devon. Essentially, it's south of Exeter, but now I'm in North... I'm not going to reveal specifically where I am, but I'm in northwest London. Cool. As it stands right now, yeah. So,
and you've been there for a little while?
3 years on the 15th of September. So that was, 9 days ago now. So yeah, 3 years. I made the decision based on spate of depression. I just thought, have we got 3 hours today? Oh yeah, we're on my stream now. So yeah, we got 3 hours. No, due to a spate of depression, I just thought, here we go. Fuck it. I'm up sticks and I'm leaving. And it was the best decision I've ever made, because legitimately, if it wasn't for that, as Dre Zera put it, a lot of people in life, they've got to go through shit to realise what the fuck they're doing. And I've got a friend of mine right now, I'm not going to reveal who they are, but it's a very close friend of mine. He's going through the same thing, and he's considering doing the same. Not moving to London, but moving away from the area. And basically, if it wasn't for me leaving, I wouldn't be here today doing this specific show. I can tell you that for fact. Was that a minute?
Listen, you take your time and just answer it at your own pace, pal.
It's weird. It's weird actually doing this on your show, but it's on our stream. It's very, very bizarre. And like I said to everybody, if you are watching this,
that's been a minute. Fuck
off.
We'll be on again next time. We'll prioritise you.
If you don't like colourful language, please do not listen in. It's a waste of time. But yes. So in answer to the question, a long-winded way, I'm in northwest London now.
Cool. No, and it's good, and I'm glad that you have found that like inner peace within yourself to get yourself in that better place. I've been through it. I'm still going through it, and it's not nice. But there's what Fantasy's just posted there about. It's always good to have that balance in life. You know, the polar opposite, as he puts it, will occur eventually. So no, I'm all for that, and it's good to hear that you're in that better place now, Steve-O. FPL wouldn't be the same without you, is all I'll say on that on behalf of the Lama Lounge there. Dogs or cats, and why?
See, the funny thing is, I've got this all written in. For that, you'll be I always do this on our streams anyway. I've got the old Pookie pad out. There is the answers are all there. In fact, I know J&O's here. Hello, mate. And this is exactly what I did for them with the Wildcats. I've read it all down. And dogs, cats wise, I've written down dogs. They're more fun and there's more companionship to them. Although, the funny thing that I love about cats is that I wonder if Dale is tuning in. Dale, if you're tuning in, you'll understand this. But I just love it when a cat comes up to you, starts rubbing your leg against with their body and then starts headbutting you. I find that really, really bizarre. I don't know if any of you three are cat owners.
Are you just trying to take this podcast down a completely different route? Things just butting against your thighs and stuff.
Cats are just selfish. They're very. It's all about me. Whereas dogs want to be your friends. So I way prefer dogs. I can assure you now.
No, that's cool. That's cool. We've seen you on stream. Taking shots of vodka, but where's your preference? Is it lager, beer, or spirits, or nothing at all?
Genuinely, because of my youth, it's vodka only. I can't drink anything. In fact, funny enough, my housemate, a good friend of mine, Steve, there we are, Mr. Reed, that's for you. Steve was drinking some Carling, and I said, I don't know how anybody drinks lager, beer. It's just, for me, it just reminds me of my youth and like just being a complete pisshead, basically. It's awful. It's terrible when I think about it. Like between the ages of Yeah, I stick with vodka. It was vodka lemonade, but now I just do vodka straight. It's just more. I don't know. I'm one of these people. It's just like, get it down your fucking neck, for God's sake. It's the same with food, to be honest with you. It's just get it down my gob.
Wow,
it's terrible,
okay.
But yeah, it's just shovel it down and away you go. Really.
But no, Matt, we're going to need to bear this in mind when the elite crew and everyone do all meet up eventually after this whole pandemic's over. I'm
on the vodka lemonade. I'm good with that.
I mean, I'm Scottish, and I'd like to think that I can handle my drink and stuff, but I don't know if I can compete with someone just straight down in vodka next to me. But hey, happy to give it a go. What's your
I'm a
favourite
lightweight.
Yeah, Matt the lightweight. Favourite film, Steve-O?
I've got 3. They are so basically these films I've seen. I mean, A Clockwork Orange and Lock, Stock. I've seen not Lock, Stock. Sorry, Die Hard 3. I've seen about 1 billion times, and I mean 1 billion. I could quote the film from start to finish, but A Clockwork Orange is right up there. Die Hard 3 is right up there, and The Thing. The 1984 version of The Thing with
Interesting.
I'm that much of a fan of it. I've completely forgotten the main actor's name. Can you believe Russell something? Kurt Russell. Fuck me. Yeah. So yeah.
70p.
Yeah. But no, I hope you're keeping tabs on this.
Yeah, so I used to, in all seriousness, I used to really enjoy watching the films and everything, but these days, films for me they just don't do anything for me. The CGI just ruins a lot of the films these days, and
yeah,
there's just something about films nowadays, they don't feel, for me, fulfilling or realistic enough where I get invested in it. There's just something about today's films where I'm just like, nah, it doesn't do anything for me whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I can see that. No, thank you very much. That was what we wanted to do, was just stay away from FPL for the first 5-10 minutes. Just get to know these little things about Steve-O that other people may not know. And now we'll hit you with the FPL stuff, shall we?
Go for it. Go for it.
How long?
Questions.
Before you do this, before you ask the juicy questions, what do you think about Jason's FPL approach?
Me? It's very ballsy. You know what my attitude is towards Jason. I think it takes the piss, his luck. And by the way, all those Jason ain't gonna like this, but all those dickheads that were having a go at me, regarding what I said on Twitter and everything. Again, as I said to Trigger Lips, even though he openly said live on air to me that he thought I was a bit of a dick doing it, but then he realised, actually, now I understand, now you've come out of it, there was context to it, and you, Boona, were the one which kind of put, and I used it on that stream, which is now members only, but I can't remember what you said now. I could easily scroll up if I wanted to find it, but you were saying about the fact that you don't understand the rivalry between Jason and Steve-O. It's really built on something, and the whole point in that video that I did on Twitter was just simply because I genuinely wanted to see his reaction live on our stream. That's what I want to see, and he did it. I was about to say I nearly swore then. I can fucking swear. I wanted to see his fucking reaction on screen and just see what he did. And when I saw what he did regarding, oh my goodness, what's this? Elite FPL's tweeted something. It's a video of Steve, and he put it up all on screen and everything, and he just sat there in absolute genuine shock and just bemusement. And then he just realised, fucking hell, I've got to him. And regarding his approach, it's very ballsy, but I mean this. I think the three of you...
My approach, Steve, I meant luck. I was more referring to his luck.
Oh, it's luck. Yeah, well, this is what I was going to ask you three. Like, I can't get my head around the luck that he specifically gets. I can't get my head around it. Like, the usual example I always give is, like, he'll bring in a goalkeeper that's got, like, against the top 6 teams that are scoring 3 goals a game average, and yet when he brings them in, they can't seem to hit a flaming barn door, and he gets clean sheets from the goalkeeper, for example. I just cannot get my head around that. It'll be, I'll have a defender in a game. The game will end 0-0, but my defender would have been sent off. You get the idea. Yeah. I can't account for the luck that he does. Don't get me wrong. I'll let you into a little secret. And J&O, if you're still listening, if you're still fucking listening, mate, I'm legitimately backing Jason to try and win the content creator league that Jeff Holt set up. I'm telling you now, that is the absolute truth. I messaged Jason that the other day. I said to him, I want him to win it because from a selfish point of view, I think that potentially the what's the word I'm looking for here? I had it the other day and it's completely gone. The attraction that he may get from that for winning that particular league, I think is going to do massive things for us. From a selfish point of view, not going to lie. So I'm kind of helping him out with his own team, would you believe?
Steve, why are you ruling yourself out? Are you in it as well?
I am, but there's something...
There we go then. There's a long time, there's a long way to go,
but
mate.
there's something that seems to have happened on Elite FPL since I've started it where it seems to be... I believe in karma and various other things, and it just seems that, like, if I seem to just be laughing at people and everything, it's like God says to me, fuck you. If you're going to laugh at them for doing that, then I'm going to screw you
Steve,
over.
I can see the headlines, mate, written in the stars. Tatted, mental, rant man, Elite FPL Steve-O wins FPL Content Creators League.
And we can get that.
And it's just a picture of you with a 99p flake in your hands.
I'll be having more than 99p flake. I'll be getting a 12-pack donut from Krispy Kremes.
might even sprinkle some hundreds and thousands on that for you.
Matt, you might need to restart your connection, mate. It's a bit all over the place.
Yeah, you went a bit alien, Matt.
You went a bit Lama.
Yeah, thanks for that. So how long have you been playing FPL for, Steve-O?
This will be my 10th year playing it.
So you are the veteran.
I don't know about being. Let me just hold on a minute. This is one of the tech issues. I'm the kind of like the producer for this show. I'll have to take Matt out for a second, and Matt can deal with his
see you later, Matt.
Thing.
Yeah, bye, Matt.
And that's your minute up, Matt.
He's fucking hopeless anyway, Steve-O, to be honest.
All right. No harm done, man. No love lost.
Yeah, so I've been playing this game for 10 years, but it's only really been over the last I don't know. 10 years, but like the last 6 or 7 I've been, I say take it. I hate the word seriously, but the mini league that I participate in, shall we say, I take very seriously, and I always want to get in. I always say want to get in the top 4 places. I always
cool.
Say, so.
And what type? So just for those that don't know, although Boona and I and Matt know, just because we've been with you and Jason for years now, or a good couple of seasons anyway. What type of player best describes you? Are you a sword or a shield type?
Yeah,
FPL
I've written down shield. I don't attack things. I mean, this season I'm playing it safe and everything, and I just bottle so much fucking stuff. It's like always saying like, oh, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing... Like, the prime example, this wildcard, I've been saying all along, I'm going to be doing Sterling, De Bruyne. What did I do today? Got rid of Sterling and brought in Salah, based on, to be fair, the history, as we discussed off air, but you just know what's going to happen now. So, Boona, you've got Sterling as captain, he's going to get you a hat-trick.
Know what you said to me before we came live on air?
What's that?
Yeah.
So for new managers, for people that are new to FPL, is there any tip that you would give them to try and, I was going to say break them in gently, which sounds so wrong on so many levels. But do you have a tip for any new managers, or just people in general, just us managers in general? What's your kind of best tip for us?
I think for me, it's go with your gut. Just go with your butt. Go with your butt. Go with your gut. And
you were determined that this stream was going one way and one way only.
Go with your gut, and in my specific case, stick with the fucking history. It's frightening how often the history seems to turn up the same old thing over and over and over.
So it should probably get Jesus in then, right?
Well, his history versus Leicester ain't particularly great. It's not that good.
Well,
so...
I know we'll go on to that because I think because we've moved from Studio 2 into Studio 1, I think we ended up dumping all our teams into your team screenshots. So we'll go through that, and then we'll see where the four of us are at head-wise.
Matt's
Yeah.
going to stay in the background, by the way. He said that his internet's shocking in the hotel that he's staying at, so he's just going to listen in.
Okay. Who shall we bring
right,
up
okay, well-
first? You or Booner's team, Lama?
We'll go with Lama first.
Yeah?
All right, okay. Oh, so, all right, we're going through the teams now, are we?
Well, I don't know. You just said to do it. So.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Of course it is. We'll go with it. What I was going to ask you whilst you're bringing it up, though, the last question that I'd written down for you was, if you could change one thing about FPL, what would you change and why would you change it?
I've written down here a higher punishment for goals conceded, more points for players, i.e. for attacking returns, and prices for players to be more expensive. I think that players are too... I don't know, there's just... Boona, you Lama, you'll be able to add more to this. I just find players are too cheap in this game. I find, and... I don't know, this season, De Bruyne are at 11.5. What the fuck? Salah at 12. He really should be 11.5, I think. Or
I
even
disagree.
just 12. And go for it, Boona.
I disagree only because whilst I completely appreciate that they've been priced, most of the premium players have been priced slightly less than we thought. The abundance of players this season make it a lot more difficult to have a team that we actually like. And as the season kind of goes on, I think it's going to become even more difficult, because once United start hitting the floor running and Chelsea start doing the same, and then Spurs, dare I say it, find some sort of form. And then we haven't even got to Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City just yet. It is going to be very difficult to fit a lot of players in. We're going to have choices to make this season, and we're not going to be able to have all the players, and that's going to be the problem. Whilst I agree that the prices are lower, still think the challenges are there, if not more, this season.
Nah, definitely, and I like the panic mode that everyone's kind of set in about trying to squeeze every last person that they can possibly get into the team, so they could have a solid midfield and a solid attack force, but an absolute shite defence. And then no one coming off their bench either. And it's just trying to find that balance that suits. What we'll do, Steve-o, then is we'll just run through our teams just now. Hopefully Matt will be able to jump in if it's only just even to go through his team. And then over the course of the week, what we've been doing on the Twitter accounts of Boona and I is get a few questions, nipped into Discord, got a few questions. And this is the FPL debate show. So what we do is try and get people's heads on a plate, so to speak, and get their ideas or thoughts on paper, and then try and help them out a little bit with it. That's the whole purpose. But we also run through the teams as well. So there's Lama's total blankers in front of you now. Bum Steer is in goals, but Ryan's definitely coming in. Steer ain't going to start anyway, is he? So
And
that'll be Ryan.
just to clarify for our audience, this was the wild card from last week.
No, Steve-o. So much change has happened. This is a -8 that we're in here. Oh, hey. It is what it is. It is what it is. So I have put on my flip-flops and flip-flopped about the beach. And then I took Fernandez back out and put Son back in.
Why?
Yeah, just because I'm a dickhead. But I've done it now. And I've
Lama,
pressed
what are you
the button.
doing when Bruno scores a brace this weekend?
Well,
Are you bringing Bruno back in?
No. So the team that I've got here, pre-game week 1, isn't far away from where I actually wanted to be at this stage, but I've kind of fucked it up a little bit to get here. Chelsea assets are not there, and my Man United assets are not there. However, game week 5 is when the players will start to come in my opinion. So I think the squad that I've got there is strong enough and half decent enough to get me through the next 2 game weeks, i.e. so I've got my 2 free transfers back, basically. So Saiss, 3-5-2, Steve-o, you've known this for seasons that I always play a 3-5-2. Saiss at the back, Trent at the back, and Digne also there. Son, Harrison, Salah, De Bruyne, and Foden. Foden I am taking as my cheeky little punt for the last game week that paid off. And then up front, Calvert-Lewin. Now, I did have Wilson, but last night I changed Wilson out and put Jimenez in, just looking at the fixtures. And as I say, yeah, I've made a bit of a pig's ear stuff at the start of this season. However, I've also caught every single price rise that's been going. So I've now just over 101 million with my full team now. So, yeah, okay, I've taken hits. And I'm not going to continue this season like what I have done the last few seasons, which is just taking hits galore. I'm hopefully going to be a bit more reserved on it, but I think having that amount of money early on is what's actually going to kind of help me out as I move forward. But as I say, Chelsea assets, Man United assets, I'm going to give it a couple of game weeks and let their team settle a little bit because they're a bit all over the shop from what I've seen. As I say, Mitchell's there, Justin's there, and Brewster, if he does end up going somewhere, will be a decent third kind of person on my bench. But yeah, so that's my team of total blankers as we move into game week 3.
Okay. Remember, you're the host, Lama. I'm just the producer tonight, mate. Bring up Boona's team then.
Yeah, let's rip into Boona's team now.
Well, hold on a minute. Are we
Boona,
on Boona? You'll be able to tell me. Are we supposed to be ripping into Lama's team? What are we supposed to be doing here?
Yeah, let's go back to Lama's team.
Right then. Go for it, Boona. I don't want to be the host tonight.
Nah, Steve-o, you done the right thing, just moving swiftly past it.
No, come on, Boona.
Right.
Let's rip into it.
Just waiting for it to come back on screen so I can rip into it properly with full strength.
You did a -8, Lama. Just clarify which were the transfers again.
So it was Fernandes out for Son, just because I prefer Spurs' fixtures, although it's it grates on me that I've had to put a Spurs asset in there because I just think they can be so all over the shop. Last week they're decent. This week, I guarantee you, it'll be an absolute shit show.
Of course it will.
So let's wait at that transfer. Let's assess that individual transfer firstly. So the transfer in of Son. It's an interesting one. And my wildcard currently, obviously it's going to change another 759 times before the deadline, of course, because if you're an FPL manager that plays the game seriously and you don't make those changes, you're really not that. Do you know what I mean? So, on Son,
yep,
Spurs did not look good in that first half against Southampton. I can't remember what changed. There wasn't a sending off, was there? There wasn't a sending off. I think we made a substitution at halftime and came out a lot more confident. I think we got a goal just before halftime. Was it 1-1 or was it 1-0 at halftime?
It was 1-1.
I think we got a goal just before halftime.
Yeah.
Do you know, just a quick one, Boona. So I'm pretty sure it was... Here we go, everybody. But I'm saying on the Lama Lounge this time. James on Planet FPL said... No, he said that what he thinks probably happened... And in fact, actually, I'll take that back. It wasn't James from Planet FPL. It was Max Rushton on Talk Sport. He made the point that it just seemed that they got the goal, Son, and he just went in the changing room and he just went, hey, Kane, guess what, mate? They're playing a really high line here. Just kick the ball over and I'll just latch onto it. And that's all that happened. That's what they actually do believe. So, because that's all those goals were, just Kane booting it.
Kane to Son.
Yeah.
Kane to Son, every single goal. Kane, some of the assists that Kane came out were unbelievable. And it's really difficult, actually, not at the moment having a Spurs asset. I've had drafts when I've had Son and Kane in, Steve-o, but I'm just not so sure that this game, Newcastle, firstly, and every time they come to the Spurs stadium, they always play a really high line, not high line. They defend really, really deep. And I think they're going to do exactly the same. And we've really struggled against teams like that, especially at the new stadium, given the dimensions and the size of the pitch. I'm not sure it's going to work in our benefit again. Nothing's changed in 1 week, you know. It's just Southampton, that second half, they just had an absolute nightmare. Kane's assists were unreal and Son was clinical as ever. But I don't think this game's going to be as easy. I really don't.
No, I think Newcastle are definitely a harder team for Spurs to play against. But if we're looking at it at home, massive park, they should come out on top, surely.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go on about it, but the history suggesting a very, very tight game. The history saying 1-0 to Tottenham. There has been 4 clean sheets at a 6-3 for Tottenham. There have been 3 1-0 victories across 6 fixtures, one of them being Newcastle away at Tottenham as well. So,
guys, the Spurs lineup's out for the Europa League game tonight.
Europa League?
Yeah, Spurs got Europa League game tonight. We've got Joe Hart in goal, Aurier, Sanchez. Lama will be listening intently here, I assure you.
Sorry to interject, Buna. Just 2 seconds. What the hell happened then with the Carabao Cup? What's that all about then?
That was on Tuesday against Leyton Orient and got postponed due to they had too many players out with COVID. So I think we got a bye through the exactly. We had 2 games this week before the league game, mate.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're joking. Oh, if only.
Absolutely not.
That's mental.
You've went and put Son in, haven't you?
No.
Let me read this lineup. We've got Hart, Aurier, Sanchez, Toby, Davis, Winks and Dombele, Dele, Lamella, Bergwijn, and Heung-min Son. You boys better hope he doesn't get injured tonight.
Ah, well, that'll just put the nail in for me. So, yeah, okay. So I can get exactly what you're saying, Boone, about the flip-flop move from Fernandes to Son. But what it did allow me to do was move Wilson up to Jimenez. What's your thoughts there?
Wilson up to Jimenez that's amazing. Okay, I probably should have let you continue, shouldn't I, before I interrupted you? I do apologise. So you've done Wilson up to Jimenez, and what was the third one, Lama?
No, that's it.
I thought it was a -8.
Go back to my team again. Can't
Really?
remember what I've done.
De Bruyne, Foden.
Oh no, that'll be what it will be. Yeah, that'll be Aubameyang to De Bruyne.
Foden. Oh, to De Bruyne. So you always had Foden, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you did, for reference, you did
Fernandes to Son.
Fernandes to Son, Aubameyang to De Bruyne.
Yep, and Wilson to Jimenez.
I think
they're
honestly,
good transfers.
Yeah, they're very good transfers. But I honestly think.
Why? Thank you. You know.
I think Fernandes is going to bite you in the bum because I think Brighton they don't do that well against top 6 teams, and I think Man United personally are going to win 3-0, 3-1. And Fernandes being part of it, I don't think this weekend Newcastle are going to put up the same shambles that Southampton did, and I think Tottenham. I went 2-1 to Tottenham, but I'm actually thinking that it could be a lot tighter, and I think there's a chance that it could end up as a draw possibly. But I do think that Tottenham should come out of it on top with the quality that they have.
Yeah. And I think like what Boona's saying, I mean, they've got so many games on that there's going to be probably a bit of rotation there. But I was thinking in the back of my head that your Sons and your Canes, etc., would probably likely keep their places. But you'll know better than me, Boona.
We shall see. See how Son does today and how many minutes he gets. Hopefully we put this team to bed early. But speaking to the lads in Hangouts earlier in the day, and they were saying the team, although they're minnows in the grand scheme of things, they've got a good home record. We'll see. There's a strong team out there. You'd think Spurs should do a professional job. But other than that, mate, team looks solid.
And I'm hoping... No, cheers for that. And I'm hoping that it stays looking... Well, it stays solid for at least another couple of game weeks, which on paper is okay, but we know what paper teams look like. My paper teams always look all right. But now, what have you been up to?
Me?
Yeah, what's your team looking like? What draft are you on now? 350 something?
How did you know? It's a good educated guess. I want the chat to rip into it and let me know what they think. I want their honest opinions.
So
I'm thick-skinned enough to take it.
So for those listening, Boona, give it a readout for us.
Oh man! All right, so we've got Martinez in goal. That's obviously not set. Got Trent, Saiss, Mitchell in defence, Salah, Sterling at the moment captain, De Bruyne, Foden, and Podence, with Jimenez and Adams up front. A bench of Thier, Dunn. Tarkowski's actually not. He's out again this weekend, Steve-O. I think Dunn might even get a start.
Yes.
So you got Dunn, Justin, and Brewster on the bench.
I would say keep an eye on the Tarkowski news, because all I will say is from history with Burnley that when a main player seems to be injured for a period of time during the transfer window, usually that means it's a yellow flag to say we're selling him. Usually. So, and I've got Jimmy Dunn in my team as well, because for $4 million, a guaranteed starter for Burnley. Started again midweek and kept a clean sheet as well. Yeah, and he'll be playing. I'm I'll tell you what, everybody as well. I mean, Charlie, I know you're in the stream at the moment. Charlie was asking about Chris Wood. What I will say about Burnley is that, number one, we look very attacking versus Leicester. The only downside to us is that we don't have, it's like Suj said on Planet FPL, we don't have the confidence like West Ham. They're the same. They don't have the confidence in front of goal. That's the problem with us. That's why I always air caution with Burnley front players. But they are the only goal scorers in our team, so people like Chris Wood are worth going in for. We went through in the Cup, which is an absolute miracle. We never, ever go through in Cup games, whether it's the first round or even the second round. So it was a miracle that we beat Millwall 2-0 yesterday. So things are looking up, and we got Southampton up next. It's certainly worth looking at. And like Boona just said, getting a clean sheet against Millwall. I know it's Millwall, but it just builds up confidence. And they've got something. And Boona, you probably attest to this. Players like Dunn or whatever have got something to prove in the team to keep their place.
For sure. I actually haven't seen too much of him. I watched some bits of that game that he started in the league last, and he looked good, but he's 4.0. I know it doesn't mean anything in footballing terms. Look at Wan-Bissaka last season or the season before, whenever it was. But if he really nails this place in that squad, then I think he'll be in most teams. But I just wanted to justify a few of my picks because a lot of people are questioning, and because I've had same questions on Twitter, Discord, whatever. Two picks in particular: Shea Adams and Foden. Foden's obviously a rotation risk. I'm interested to see if he starts tonight. He's actually playing in the Cup tonight, home versus. He's not playing. City are playing. Sorry, he could be playing versus Bournemouth tonight. Steve, it'll be interesting to see who plays. I think Pep alluded to the fact that he'd be playing an academy side or something.
What time do they kick up?
A weaker side anyway.
Off?
7:45. So we'll have that line up in about 35 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Shea Adams though, a lot of people saying why don't you go Mitrovic or other, Wood or whatever, but actually. Shea Adams has looked good in the last two games, and I feel like people have been a bit knee-jerky, particularly those that have actually owned him from the start. I haven't owned him. I didn't have him for the first two games. Now, if you watch Shea Adams, particularly on the weekend against Spurs, he had a few really, really strong chances. One that was saved, a really, really good save by Lloris, and then a great goal line tackle, but a block by Ben Davis. He could have had a brace on another day, and people wouldn't be saying the same. The two fixtures that are up and coming against Burnley, who at the moment have a weakened defence, Steve, I'm sure you'll attest to that, and then West Brom at home. I think they're two really good fixtures. I think it's worth giving him the shot. Foden was obviously a bit more riskier because he's risk to rotation. I'm not 100% on him, but at the moment he allows for the team that I kind of want. There are players in here that are missing. Like Alex the Kid just said, need a Chelsea asset. I really, really, really do want to fit Werner in here. Right. I really want Werner in here. He's the one player that I feel like I'm missing. But there's no easy way of bringing him in without getting rid of a more premium asset like the likes of Salah, Sterling, or Trent. So I'm kind of holding fire, and I think I'm just going to put money on Werner to score a brace or something and cover my losses.
And to
the thing is, sorry, Steve.
No, I was just going to add about Chelsea. So I can't do any history on Werner versus West Brom, of course, but
you can do Chelsea versus West Brom.
Yeah, I can do. And the average score is working out to be about 3-0 to Chelsea. They have a lot of fun versus West Brom, so there's lots of goals in that fixture. So.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Vicious saying that as well. No Everton in there either.
I've had that question about 59 times. And I know Steve-O's a big fan of Everton too, but Palace have started really well. And I think defensively, this will be the most difficult challenge the Everton side will face going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they're up against a stern Brighton side that have a bit of defensive solidity now with Ben White and Lamptey. And I don't think that's going to be an easy game either. It's not to say that DCL won't score 2 goals in 2, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward. Absolutely not.
Do you know the other thing though as well? I was talking to one of my mates that's a lifelong City fan, and what he was saying, since Silva left, that place is Foden's. You know what I mean? It's almost like he could make that position his own. Obviously, we know that Pep likes to rotate his players around and stuff like that, but Foden's played in a side alongside Mahrez, just as an example. So it's not like it's one or the other. So I think Foden, I like having Foden. Well, I don't as a United fan, but as an FPL manager, I don't mind having Foden there. As long as you've got someone on your bench that can come in, because you are going to potentially expect a bit of rotation here and there. But I think for the most part, there is a possibility nail that spot down a little bit.
I'm also interested to see how the press conferences tomorrow are going to be really crucial. I'm interested to see what Nuno has to say on Marcel, the Wolves left wing back who came off injured, because it'll be a nice downgrade to Vinagre for a few games. I'm all about the short-term player now. A lot of players don't like playing that, and a few people have questioned the Justin pick as well, because he'll probably be out the side soon. But that's fine. I'll deal with it when it comes to it. I don't like playing the boring game. You guys know me. It'd be interesting to see that, because you save a good 0.6 there, and then I can upgrade elsewhere. I've actually got 0.4 in the bank at the moment. So if Marcel's out, I could do Saiss down to Vinagre, and I could do Foden up to Greenwood, which I like a lot more.
Oh, I was just about to ask you that. Like, similar to myself, you've got no United players in your team at all, no Chelsea assets in there at all. So where's your head at with regards to getting those players in? Is it something that you want to close out before you complete your wild card, or are you viewing to get them in the next couple of weeks?
I think the only player, I think there's so many options in the game right now. If I was to get Martial, or if I was to make a way to bring Martial in, then why would I not just go Werner? I think his fixture's a lot nicer. Yeah. So I wouldn't do him. I think Greenwood's a lot easier to bring in, and although he was playing against my hometown side in Luton, that 10-minute cameo that he came on, he looked so sharp. His finish, regardless of who he was playing, he looked so confident. His confidence is still there. And I think he's probably going to be the one that I target in the short term. Not to say that Rashford or Bruno won't be brilliant options. I think they could well be, but there's so many options to go for.
Yeah, no, totally.
I don't like the triple city. I don't like the triple city, if I'm completely honest. So I'm kind of hoping Nuno comes out and says, Marcel is out for a few weeks, and then that makes Vinagre a decent option. And the Foden to Greenwood switch, I really like that.
Yeah, totally. What I was going to say, is Matt there, or is he managed to get back into the?
No, he's just listening in. He's not in the Discord.
I can still bring up his team though if he put it.
Oh yeah, we can still. Steve-o, we rip into everybody's teams in the Lama Lounge. So yeah, get it up and we'll rip into it.
All up and running.
Right, I'm just trying to make this out here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the skills of Jason to make this bigger, but I can work it out. Meslier in goal. Meslier, Robertson, Lewis, Saiss, Rodriguez, Salah, Podence, De Bruyne, Click, Werner, and Calvert-Lewin Lama.
It's a pretty solid lineup, though, to be fair. Apart from obviously
Werner captain. Captain.
Yeah,
I really like that.
He's got a yellow flag sat in his defence. Who's on his bench? Who would be coming in there?
He's got Gabriel.
Gabriel, even Mitchell.
Mitchell in front of Gabriel, personally. But,
yeah, that's what I would do.
Put Mitchell up there instead. Yeah. There's not a lot to really slag off in there, is there? Really?
What's the background of this team? Bruno's there. Well, I know he played bench boost the other week. How did that go again? It completely failed on his arse, didn't it?
His arse. 50-something points.
Yeah, he completely fucked it up.
Brilliant.
Like I can't really speak considering the first 2 game weeks that I've had, but he completely arse-ended his bench boost, like totally.
Actually, Bruno,
but he always had the plan to wildcard after that.
He did,
and that's what he did last week. And what a shit show that was.
Sorry, Bruno. I wanted to ask you, why have you actually wildcarded?
Good question.
Because when I saw it on Twitter, I was just like, oh, he's wildcarded. Oh, okay, that's another one in the book.
It was so I had no plans to wildcard, Steve, until I saw City being City. There was no way of me bringing any City in, and I was already in a position where I had to take a -8 before, and that was without getting any City. I was like, fuck this. There's no chance I'm taking a -8 and having no City. I would have done Aubameyang to Salah, St. Maximum to Podence, and because Egan got the red card, I would have done Egan to Saiss, and I would have had, hardly. Well, if I had Foden, I would have had Podence. Sorry, so I wouldn't have had no City. No chance. I couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Although the problem is I've wildcarded out some good players, and it's this. So I don't like that, Steve. I've wildcarded out Werner, Calvert-Lewin, Digne, Richarlison, and Harvey Barnes, and they're all players that could, do me some damage.
Yeah.
But this is a game. We take our risks, and I'm
No,
backing
that's
myself.
true. No, that's true. That's true. But I think
I
on the
took a
whole,
-8 in game week 2 as well. Sorry, Lama. I took a -8 in game week 2 as well. I'm just not feeling this early on. I haven't had the best of starts. I'm on 128 points, 1.2 mil. I feel it's too early on to take 2 -8s in a row. So I thought, why not? Let me just sort this out. However, in hindsight, I wish I hadn't taken hit the button on the wild card, because I don't think we've got enough information. And week on week, our decisions are going to change based on players that do well. Someone
That's
that hasn't,
true.
for example, players done shit in game week 1, did well in game week 2. Now everyone's jumping on those game week 2 players in game week 3, and they'll probably do shit in game week 3. Different players will do well in game week 3, and we'll want to jump on them in game week 4. Give it a bit more time. I think 2 weeks probably wasn't enough time to kind of decide a wild card. I'd give it at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, John Harris just saying there, Steve-O, in the chat, that you look so relaxed you're on a spa break.
Yeah, and well, that's a very good way to link into. And for anybody joining in right now, this is a bit of an impromptu stream. Essentially, this is the Llama Lounge, the debate show, but due to technical issues, I was going to be I was a guest on their show. But unfortunately, due to tech issues, I just thought, fuck it, let's just bring it onto this show. So, like I keep banging on about, there's going to be a bit of colourful language, but we're all adults around here. And we're just streaming now. I just want to say, quite incredible numbers viewing at the moment. Really do appreciate it. The live streaming we love to do. And there's nearly 400 people watching this. And by all means, tell your friends that we are live talking all things wildcard at the moment. And slagging...
Almost 500, Steve. 480.
Yeah.
What?
Bad,
really?
is it?
Is there?
Going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, mate.
Blimey. Okay. I didn't realise. Oh, well. Cheers for joining in. Genuinely cheers.
So,
and I do appreciate us having a laugh about it all.
So, Steve, where's your punaments?
My pile of what? Well, I thought we were laying into Matt's team.
I don't think you can,
where's your
really.
pile of mints, Steve?
All right, let's bring up my pile of mint, shall we? So, it's all there up on screen right now. So I changed a bit this morning on my wildcard team.
So you're wildcarded as well, then?
Yes, I wildcarded.
This is a wildcard, Steve.
This is a wildcard, yes. So we've got Martinez in goal, the double Liverpool defence. That ain't going to be leaving my team unless something serious happens. Saiss. Okay. I wish that what's his name? Samida. What's the guy that's coming from Wolves? Semedo. Yeah, I don't think he would have come in at 5, but if it had come in at 5, I reckon I would have taken a punt on him and brought him in instead of having Saiss. I had Sterling and De Bruyne, but I've taken Sterling out and brought in Salah based on the history that Sterling has versus Leicester. It's terrible, whereas Salah versus Liverpool is very, very versus Arsenal is very good. De Bruyne, don't need to speak about. Then I brought in Click, Rodriguez, Zaha, Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, but... my bench, just for clarity, is Mitchell, Dunn, Davis. But as Trigger Lips kind of said, it's kind of backfired. But I was trying to play the price game and maybe get a 0.1 selling price out of certain players. And to be honest, it's completely backfired. Do any of you two know what the hell is going on with the Werner and various other players not dropping or rising in price? Because it is very frustrating that Werner hasn't gone down.
I was listening to one of the other podcasts. I think it might have been on Black Box, possibly. There's something a bit dodgy going on at FPL Towers. We understand that because Man United because this is what Matt revealed to me in the Llama Lounge last week.
Oh, it was wonderful. Can I just say that I know I said it kind of. I think I said it to you privately. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say it now. That moment. In fact, that moment is why I love live streaming, because you're live and whatever you say cannot be edited, and apart from afterwards if you really want. But when Matt revealed that moment, I was at work just listening in, and I just burst out laughing hearing you discover that the price rises weren't going to be affected or anything. And there was also a moment when Boona came storming in about something. Like, I think you and Matt were kind of being a bit coy about something, and Boona went, fuck off, I'm going to fucking have my say, and Boona just started... But that's what's so good about live.
I wouldn't say a fucking thing.
Yeah. That's what's so good
But
about
no,
live.
I
It's
think-
brilliant. But go for it.
On
Yeah,
that note,
Oh, sorry.
502 people watching, guys, and there's only 60 likes. If you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button. It really does help support the
And just-
channel and promote the channel amongst other videos on YouTube. So yeah,
No, definitely. Thank you very much, folks. Thanks to Steve-O again for hosting the Llama Lounge here in Elite. So, by way of thanking him, it'd be much appreciated if you can like Elite FPL stream and subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously, much appreciated. And get your comments in because we're going to start debating those topics that you sent over to us in the Llama Lounge just in about 5-10 minutes. Get some of the things off your chest. Within the Llama Lounge, we will get the technical issues sorted. I've already sacked the director and I've hired a new producer. So hopefully, as we go into next game week 3 to game week 4, we'll get the Tesco. We'll get the technical issues sorted out. So don't forget to pass by, drop a like. There's plenty of stuff up there already, and get subscribing to the Llama Lounge as well. That's also greatly appreciated. Back to your question though, Steve-O. I honestly think there's something not quite right in that FPL Towers. It's like, well, as you've just said, it blew my mind last week on the show when Matt revealed to me that Man United assets and City assets weren't moving at all in price. I'd already played my wild card at the time, kind of half gambling on the fact that they were going to start rising in price, because that's the way I'm going about this season. Not just attacking every single price rise going, but the players that I'd actually planned on having in my team, I wanted to make sure I was hitting those price rises. So that's what I'm saying. Thus far, and I know it's early doors, I've hit 9-10 price rises and managed to get myself up to I'm just over 101 million now, and it's only 2 game weeks in. But that being said, when Matt revealed that last week, and as pissed as I was about it, it was kind of like, all right, okay, fair enough. And I kind of thought, right, I can kind of understand it to an extent. It's Man United, it's City, they've missed the first game week, blah, blah, blah. Chelsea, on the other hand, I don't quite get that. Boona, I don't know if you've got anything that you want to input, or if there's anyone in the chat that can kind of...
I've got a lot to input on price rises, but...
That can kind of figure it out, because it's a bit mad to me.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got so many people buying him in, and he's just not moved.
Well, Werner's not going to be dropping now. He's gone from 100 down to 95, and I think more people are starting to buy him in than the other way around. But on price rises, man, this price rise wildcard stuff is a myth. Like, I've totally messed it up. I really have. I just need to focus on the game. You don't even want to know what I did, honestly, Steve-O.
No, we do.
Good answer.
Go on. Just explain your fuck ups. It's fine. That's why we're all here together. Is just to learn and develop and grow as managers. That's why we're here.
I joined the wildcard party late. It was like midweek, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was like, okay, let me catch some players that had already risen, but let me see, they might rise again twice, and I can make some money. And I got rid of some players, that weren't due to rise anytime soon, forgetting that they'd already risen once by 0.1. So I lost that 0.1 in them. So the likes of Salah, Son, KDB, Saiz, that had like already risen 0.1 for me, when I'd sold them and then tried to buy them back, I couldn't get back to the same team. Yeah. Absolute nightmare.
No, that's just you being an absolute plum.
Yeah, that too, but, oh, man.
But yeah... What's your thoughts on this? I know a lot of people have been talking about it this week, funnily enough, and I don't know if it did all kind of stem from the whole freeze on price rises and stuff. And I've heard a lot of people talking about it, Steve-O and Boona. What's your opinion on it? Like, some of them are saying, well, why do we not have price rises for the first month, for example, the first 4 game weeks, and then we'll just see, then after that, we'll start messing about with the price rises and drops and just leave the first 4 game weeks as a settled kind of, that, like, that's your price and that's it.
This is the first season it's been like this, though.
To me, I think it adds another element of sheer, people just getting like, oh shit, I better get them in, or what do I do here? It's just like it inserts in another panic mode. But what about you? What do you think? Steve, what about you? Are you happy, or it is what it is? Doesn't it bother you? What about you,
I'm
Gunnar?
more. I'll tell you what. I was listening to the Black Box this morning with Mark Southerns and their guest Disable, and basically, I think I don't know why the game can't be more transparent as to who's. I mean, they show in the status bit, as I can bring up on screen here, they can show who's being bought in, so who's being transferred in and out. But I wish it kind of made it more clear about like who's going to be rising in price. I don't understand what the secrecy is about that. So up on screen now, as you can see here, the various players. Calvert-Lewin tops it with 700,000 people that bought him and stuff. Well, what does that mean regarding how much he's going to rise in price per day or over the week or whatever? It means fuck all. So, and then of course the bit about the wild carding and everything, that price rises don't get affected if a player's hit the wild card, and any transfer that he brings in, it won't affect the pricing and stuff. I think agreeing with, going on to what you said, I think putting a price block on maybe just 2 weeks or something like that, because it is so volatile, this price rising and falling, that it is just literally people panic buying. That's all it is. It's just panic buying. Whereas if you kind of had something literally in your face, which was basically just saying this on the official account, this player is going to be rising in price or dropping in price, whatever it may be, then it's down to us as players to be like, right then, do I bring him in or not? And then you'll be able to see who else is falling and rising and everything, and if you want to swap him out or not. But yes, it's an odd one. I don't understand why the game doesn't tell us anything, really.
Yeah, you've got to go and find it elsewhere, like what we all do.
Yes.
Go to like the third-party sites or whatever you want to class them as. What about you, Buna? What would your thoughts be with regards to price rises or freezing them maybe for the first 4 game weeks?
I'm honestly not too bothered, mate. I just want to play the game, whether people rise or not. I don't follow price rises, man. I follow the points. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, clearly, because you completely cocked it up when you played your wildcard, didn't you?
Yeah, it's not my bag, honestly.
It's not my bag. Steve, will bring up I think I did I send you over the team, into team screenshots, but the questions that some of the people have been sending to
you sent me nothing. I don't think I can check right now. Hopefully, I'm speaking absolute nonsense. I don't think no, you haven't sent me anything in the team screenshots, I'm afraid. If you want to post it in there,
right,
by all means. But just want to say just quickly, thank you, Davey FPL, for the kind words. I wasn't supposed to be doing a on-camera show. I was supposed to be, I am a guest on the Lama Lounge and everything, and due to technical issues, I don't want to keep going on about it now, but due to technical issues, I've had to
just remind me.
Come live on air, but and I am just wearing a robe because I just could not be bothered to change, to be completely honest with you. But
that's the thing, though. If he's just tuned in, you missed the woman that was feeding him grapes into his mouth earlier. That's how chilled out he was.
Well, I've got the here we are. The first, here's an exclusive for everyone on the Lama. Is the first appearance of the elf. The elf is here, so he can feed me. He can feed me some grapes.
Let's get the elf to 100 likes, guys.
Yeah, get the elf to 100 likes, and we'll be able to let's try and get him on camera. I can't even put his arms around the thing. But Lama, the questions are up on screen, my friend.
Perfect. No, thank you very much for that, Steve-O. So basically, this is the FPL, the debate show. So people have been tweeting at Buna and I all week, and also in and around the Discord chats when we've been in there. Some of the things that they wanted to get off their chest and ask us, including Steve-O this week, for us to try and help them out. Buna, do you want to kick us off this week with the first one?
Yeah, the first question from me was, have you fuckers subscribed to the Lama Lounge? If not, why? I'm going to put the link into the description. Appreciate it if you can support the channel. We're going to be working on certain things, that we haven't got right. Leave that with us, but yeah.
No, that's
yeah, we've got some team news there for Liverpool. If anyone wants to read that out, go for it. The only really known player in that's starting is Van Dijk. Everyone else has got a rest. No one else from the starting 11.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Trent on the bench. Interesting.
Now, I'll just bring it up on screen right this second for anybody that is actually interested in the Liverpool team news. You don't need to read it out, but it is up on screen for anybody that is interested.
It's actually out 12 minutes early. I wonder if the City one's out.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out and see where we're at with our assets. See if I need to pull out a -12 or a -16 at this fucking rate. Do we? So Dre's just asked a simple: do we stick or get rid of Man United assets? I think we've kind of already half touched on this earlier on in the stream, Steve-O. If you've got one or two in, you probably are all right keeping them. To be honest, I think they'll end up with a rocket up their arse and they'll come out fighting. I would say. It's not going to be an easy game. We've already spoke about it earlier on. But for me, I think if you've got them there, keep them. I certainly wouldn't be punting them out. I might have made a bit of a blunder with regards to that.
I think in answer to that
we learn to
question.
move on. Steve, what?
Well, no, I'll happily answer that question. I think you've got to stick, for crying out loud. You've got to stick with Man United assets. No disrespect, they're up against Brighton, and I honestly can see there being quite a few goals. And I don't mean to be rude. Lama, I really do think that bringing in Son for Fernandes was a big mistake. I could be proven completely wrong, which normally I am, but
I agree with you.
The only reason that I done it, well, part of the reason that I done it was so that I could move Wilson up to Jimenez, though. So it was kind of like it's like being on a round. It's like a seesaw, swings and roundabouts. That's the only thing I would say with regards to it. What about you, Boone? Are you keeping or getting rid
Of who?
Man United assets if you had them?
I mean, I'd probably keep. I'd give, especially after the man. Did you see that? I don't know, Stevie. I don't know if you watched the game, but that United game when Luton were, doing pretty well and it was still 1-0, and then Ollie brings on Rashford, and you see Bruno, and then they pan left and you see Rashford and Greenwood as well, all coming on at the same time. It's like bloody hell, and they made such an impact. I think they're gonna be hungry for it, and I do think if Lamptey he's back in training, whether he starts or not, I'm not too sure. But I think United are going to do a job. I think United are going to do a job on Brighton. I wouldn't have got rid.
Okay, we'll see what happens, shall we? Just have a word with Jose when you get a chance. Tell him to get his players to get his finger out in that.
No can do. I haven't got Son at the moment.
Pros and cons, Steve-O, of going Spurs, Everton, Chelsea, and Man City in the same team.
Spurs.
That came from Paulie.
Yeah, well,
and you could just be.
Paulie's doing really well, yeah. The pros of going these particular fixtures, well, Man City, Chelsea, Everton, the pros of going with triple up on them three is that they can all score goals. The goals are going to come across various different players in the team, and you would think that it would come from the usual suspects. Spurs, kind of similar. I mean, if you, I mean, it's impossible, but if you could have Kane, Son, and Bale in your team whenever Bale's fit in the next few weeks. Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent, so to speak, or a more of a tangent question for Boona. The closer we get to Bale's fitness, how excited are you for that front three there?
I can't wait, man. I'm really excited. It's just going to be magnificent to watch them three. I think it's going to change our team and the confidence and everything. You know how when you've got superstars up front, when you're so good, we've seen it with the likes of Liverpool before they bought the likes of Van Dijk. You obviously concede goals, but when you see that attacking force just attacking, it gives confidence to the rest of the team, even shitter players. So I think our defence will really benefit from that too.
Do you think Bale will be able to play with crutches though?
Was I supposed to laugh at that comment? Sorry.
I'm just double checking. Checking. See, how do you think Kane's going to fit in? I think Kane will probably. Do you think he'll play more like a Firmino type role?
No, I think that, potentially actually he could do, but I know Bale will probably be the focal point. He'll be on the right wing though, but he'll be cutting in a lot. He's going to be good. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, nah.
You having fun there, Steve-O?
It's our mascot.
Hi Ryan, how you doing?
Is Ryan the mascot? He's talking to someone in chat.
Oh no, that was someone in chat. That was Ryan in chat. Benji's asking, who can we trust defensively in FPL over the course of the season?
Oh, I can answer that immediately. But teams like, honestly, I do mean this. Teams like Man City, Liverpool. I mean, I'm stating the blinking obvious there. Arsenal, I'm very fond of. The more lowly teams, I think.
Arsenal?
Yes, Arsenal. Yeah, I think honestly that there's a chance that he could get a result this game week versus Liverpool. I have this sneaky suspicion that that's going to be a very, very tight game, and I think that could be like 1-1, 2-1 to Liverpool, just something like that.
No. Thiago's going to be playing, Steve. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you now.
I hope
he's
not.
going to dictate that game.
I hope so, and I think that because of, I'm not going to profess to be an expert on knowing much about Thiago, but what I do know is that I think that it may help shore up the defence. Not that he's a defensive midfielder, but I think that with a player like him in front of that back four, I think that Liverpool could be gold for clean sheets again, and players like I've got Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, even Van Dijk could be finally getting those clean sheets back. And again, I mean, the more lowly teams that I think about when it comes to clean sheets, I'm stating the blinking obvious, are teams like Burnley, as an example. They are guaranteed across the season to get, I think this season, between 10, 13, 14 clean sheets, something like that, across the whole of the season. Who else is there? I can't even think of teams. Newcastle are another team, away from home against these poorer clubs. I think they've got a very, very good chance of keeping clean sheets. But certainly if I'm... Wolves, of course. How can I forget Wolves?
Yeah, Wolves. Yeah, it's just a way to say that.
Yeah, Wolves. And I would certainly keep an eye on Aston Villa. Keep it, because I know, Boona, you've obviously got Martinez in your team. I've got Martinez in my team, and I think...
Yeah, I got him in my team because of Martinez and what he did for Arsenal, as opposed to Aston Villa.
Yeah, and I think he'll give confidence to the back four that were doing really well across the Project Restart, and I really do think that there's a chance that Aston Villa could be the going under the radar when it comes to defenders.
These two next questions kind of go hand in hand. The first one came from yourself, Boona, the importance of patience in FPL, which kind of ties into what Firetog was asking, whether it was too early to wildcard or not. Speaking to the three of us that have all pulled our wild cards, and then Matt's just sitting there chilling in his hotel room, who's pulled his wild card out as well. I'll let you start, Boona, so Steve can think about it. What do you think? What are you saying?
Yeah, I think it's definitely important having patience in FPL. I lack it, and that's why I asked the question. I think the more information we have, and the more statistics we have, and the more football that's been played, the more knowledge we have, and the better informed decisions that we'll make. That's why I think having patience in FPL is important. At the same time, there needs to be a bit of a fine line. Dullard versus being a bit of a maverick. I've tended to be a bit of a, more of a maverick than Dullard. But yeah, I think patience is important. But I want to hear you guys' opinions.
I think for me, it's at the end of the day, it's like what G Wiz says. You just play your own game. And I think that's what's good about it, is that you can, especially this season, there's so many people to choose from, that it does give us an opportunity this season to kind of exactly do that. Just play it as you want to play it. I don't know if I can see where you're coming from, Boona, right? Being a bit a bit more patient and all the rest of it. But then you've said that and then pulled your wild card straight out in the third game, like going into the third game week, as have I. So I can't sit here and say, yeah, patience is definitely what you should all do, and be patient, when I've pulled a wild card the second week out. But I did that to go with price rises. And I'll be a bit more controversial. I honestly have a sneaky opinion. Well, it's not sneaky at all. I've just got a bad feeling that this whole pandemic that we're going through is going to affect the Premier League again, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my free wild card.
I hope it doesn't happen, obviously, but I think it might happen, and therefore I will get another wild card anyway.
Yeah.
So, Steve, what do you think? What's your views on patience, or about being patient? And is it too early to play your wild card?
I used to be really bad regarding being impatient when it came to price rises. The last season especially, I was going mad, really worried about players dropping, and then I would just automatically bring them in rather than waiting out for the game week to finish, etc. And this particular weekend, ironically, I don't, whether you two are aware or not, I'm assuming you are, I had to play my wild card because I lost 0.2 and I was about to lose 0.3 with Ings going down in price. I had...
I mean, your team definitely needed it, Steve.
Yes, it did.
I'm looking at it now.
I had Egan, St. Maximin. Who was the other? Some other...
Wilson, Saka, Burke.
Yeah, Just
Yeah.
awful. And I was just thinking to myself, this team is just this is going to do nothing for me. So I had to do it. However, oh my goodness, I know hindsight's a big word. I just wish I'd waited for the week. I couldn't wait because of the price fallings, but I so wish I'd waited to the end of the game week, because do you know what? I don't think I'd have wildcarded now. I'd have been happy with. It's amazing what a goal does. I would have been happy with Mane.
That makes two of us, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I could have taken a -4. I'm looking at my team right now. I could have taken a -4 and been happy with it.
Yeah, I would have probably off the top, just off the top of my head right now, I would have done Egan probably to Saiz, Aubameyang to KDB, and it would have been something like some maximum to Podence, and I may have got rid of possibly one of the strikers for another one. To be honest with you, that's it.
So what, like a -8 or a -12 or something?
A -8. A -8.
Yeah,
I would have
like what?
done.
So it's very similar to what Buna was saying then at the start, that he probably could have got away with just playing a -8 then and not bothering.
But the reasoning behind that was also to supplement. That was even if I had taken a -8, I wouldn't have had the City assets that I wanted.
Yeah.
That was a worry.
And like Ryan's saying that in the chat there, the problem is that we might miss out on essential players and lose team value rapidly. And that's why the wild card early is understandable to some extent. And that's kind of where my head was at. I didn't want to miss out on the price rises, especially on the players that I was wanting in my team anyway. And I didn't really want the people that are, as we were talking about earlier, the people that are just buying and selling like crazy and causing all these prices to fluctuate the way they've been fluctuating. I was like, fuck this. I can't sit by and miss out getting these players that I actually want in my team to then sit and stare at a team that I fucking hate.
Yes.
Guys, what do you make of Foden starting tonight? Oof.
Okay.
Oh,
let's
is
bring it
Foden
up
start?
on
Oh, I
screen.
didn't know he was.
He's starting. So is Mahrez, though. We've got Sterling, De Bruyne, and Mendy on the bench. It's a very weak team, like he said
It's
he
a
was going to
bit
go.
disappointing from that
I'll
perspective.
leave you to bring it up, Steve, when you get a chance.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
a bit
it's
of
up
a
and
kick in the
running.
nuts for me.
Who the hell's Stefan? Who?
But then Foden's like, what age is Foden? Like 10 or something? So he's got that much energy.
Yeah,
that
his
he
kid's
probably
9 and he's 10.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Got Rory Delap up front.
But there's a blast.
Sorry, I'm telling you, this shows my ignorance, but genuinely, Stefan, Harwood Bellis, Doyle, Benaba, Delap. Who the hell are? I'm just assuming these are just like.
This is all
just under
academy, though,
21.
Stephen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
academy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be academy players and all the rest of it. Yeah,
And who are they playing? Sorry. Oh, Bournemouth. Sorry. Right. Okay.
yeah, Bournemouth. Yep.
Right. They should go through. You'd like to think.
You'd like to think so. So here's one for you, Steve-O, in chat. Will Van der Beek or Van der Duck curtail Bruno's FPL points this season? What do you think about that one, Steve-O? That one was from Firetog.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I don't think this is a bad thing, that the way we all consume information is, whether it's using websites or listening into podcasts or watching or listening into YouTube channels, whatever, but based on the black box that I heard today, and based on Planet FPL and stuff, it would appear that Van der Beek is playing a lot more further advanced when he's on the pitch than Fernandes was. And you know what? I think there could be potentially a gem in there, possibly. He's 7 million, isn't he?
Yeah, 7.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think he's... I'll tell you what, right? This is what I think. If he has a good game against Brighton, i.e., either performs really, really well without getting a potential return but should have done, or he gets a return, I think there's a chance that he could be someone to definitely be looking at to be bringing in your teams for Man United coverage.
He'll be on your watch list.
He'll be on my watch list, yeah. I mean, Zaha I've got in at the moment. I mean, actually, that's going back to your wild card, Boona. No thought on bringing in Zaha?
No, not for me. I'm not a fan of it. I think you could do okay this week, but the Chelsea fixture I'm not keen on because it's away. But after that, I think they've got a really nice run of games. If I'm not wrong, they've got Brighton, Fulham, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley. I might consider him after game week 5 if he can continue this form into the next 2 games. He's got a tendency to regress, and that's what I want to see, if he's changed his game or if he's just playing for to get sold. We know what Zaha's done in the past.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. I never thought of that.
Just a quick one on my own personal team. There's a reason why also I brought in... I'm kind of trying to play a quote-unquote clever game where I've deliberately gone Salah instead of Sterling, because if I'm completely wrong here, please tell me, but am I right in saying Sterling actually performs better away from home? Would that be right in saying that?
I think you're right,
No,
but also he usually performs better when Aguero isn't playing.
Right, okay. That doesn't help me then. Yeah, I thought I'd have Salah for the home games, and if needed, Sterling for the away game. That was kind of like a thought process that I'm considering doing.
Were you thinking a hokey cokey?
Thinking, yeah, but we all know, as we all say, plans completely go out the window.
Paper team is looking sweet as Steve-O.
Yeah.
As they always do.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And then a ball gets kicked and it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
Who's the best 4.5 million goalkeeper as I set and forget? For me, it's Ryan. That's who I've put in my team. And when I look at their fixtures, etc., for a good chunk right up until Christmas, their fixtures are decent. So for me, my keeper is Ryan. What about you, Boona?
I'm not gonna. I don't like. I mean, I'm all for changing goalkeepers when I can. So I'm gonna stick with Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna stick with Martinez. Their fixtures are not great.
Steve-O, you can hear him clicking in the background. That's him now on
Changing
about
his team. I know it is.
I really don't know where I'm gonna go. That's one position that I really have no idea about. Might have to do a poll on Twitter. But I think Ryan is quite trustworthy.
Yeah, no, and that's my reasoning behind it. What about you, Steve? Where's your head at, pal?
Yeah, Ryan has got consistent returns over the past few seasons. He's ever reliable. He's always going to get you, an average of, say, 3 points a game. He's going to get you a minimum of 1 save point, so to speak. I mean, I think he's a great option. Certainly players like we've just mentioned just then, Martinez, we've already talked about that. I'll tell you a player who I'm a bit, maybe not the player, but maybe the team themselves. It's Leeds. The fact that they seem to be so gun-ho at the moment. I was hoping that maybe in the first 2 fixtures, albeit Liverpool, but Fulham especially, I was hoping, if they can keep a clean sheet versus Fulham, win like 1 or 2-0, but a solid performance, keep that clean sheet, give the goalkeeper confidence and even their defence confidence. I was hoping, do you know what? This Meslier, like Crazy Jack kept banging on about, could be the one, but the way Leeds have set up and everything, and ironically, this Meslier isn't looking that great. So I certainly think Ryan for safety. But I'll tell you what, I spoke about this the other day, actually. Your thoughts on potentially Fraser Forster at 4 million taking over McCarthy's spot?
Why would he start, though, over Angus Gunn, who they bought in as second keeper, and let Forster go in the first place? Is my question.
Is that right? Discussion. Is it? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. We were having this conversation earlier in Discord, and people were talking about Fraser Forster, and in the past he'd done well, but then he got let go because he was considered surplus to requirements, and now he's come back. But I think he's their choice.
To be honest, I'm not invested in it at all. I've just went, I'm having Ryan in goal, 4.5, and he's staying there for a good chunk anyway. So quite happy with that. Ramsey FPL, also known as the chef, in and around the Elite Discord threads. Can you go without TAA in your FPL team, Steve-O? Can you?
Yeah, Boona took the words out of my mouth.
You just don't put him in.
You can. You don't put him in, yeah. But the fact that he's on set pieces, we know what he can do from historical data. You can go without him, but who would you be bringing in instead? I mean, there are no players in that league. Adina is somebody certainly that potentially could replicate what Trent does this season. Doherty, would have been somebody that potentially you could. I mean, off the top of my head, you could have maybe had like say Doherty, Digne, and a Wolves. And another Wolves defender maybe, or
Tierney I was hoping for.
Tierney, yes, of course, yeah. So there are certain players out there which I think can potentially replicate what Thier does. The problem is that they don't play for Liverpool; they play for the teams that they do, and unfortunately, they don't allow the freedom that Thier has.
Yeah, and Matt can't even come and get on his internet to come in and pass comment either, which is such a shame.
That Foden start has brought about a change in my team.
Oh dear!
I can't have Foden in there. Yeah, no. Foden's gone and Trent have gone, and I've brought in Son and James.
Nice. Son.
See what I mean, Steve-O, this is what I need to fucking put up with Matt on a weekly basis. Just changing his team like he changes whatever you want to insert something in there. Are you happy now? Or are you going to have that changed by tomorrow?
Tomorrow, probably tonight. I don't know, man. I've just talked about Son so negatively, it feels wrong to have him in.
I know.
Oh, and he's playing tonight as well. Shit, right, I've got to take Son now. Fuck.
Oh, dear. This is going to go on for a bit.
This is a nightmare. Right, come in, Greenwood.
Why do you not just put in Barnes or Greenwood, yeah? Which Everton asset should you be targeting, Steve-O? This comes from Abdul in Discord.
Do you know what? I'm a massive fan of Richarlison this season so far.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. And that's exactly what I was going to say.
If I could, I can't, but in my team, honestly, I would have Richarlison instead of Calvert-Lewin. I really would.
Okay.
I think that Richarlison is looking really, really up for it this year. I don't know what Ancelotti's done with him in the pre-season, but there's something about him which is telling me that he can have a stormer. There's a chance that maybe I could get rid of James and bring in an upgrade Calvert-Lewin. For that, it's just little bits of changes here and there to free up that 1 million. But yeah, Richarlison for me personally.
That was another one you had in your team as well, Boona, wasn't it?
Calvert-Lewin.
I thought you had Richarlison in your team.
I had Richarlison, I had Rodriguez, I had Digne. I shouldn't have wildcarded. I really shouldn't. But on that note, we're going to divert away from that topic because I don't want to talk about it. It really hurts my head. I've got a Sky correspondent in my ear by the name of Paulie the Golfer saying that actually I've got my information incorrect. Fraser Forster's actually been on the bench for all of Southampton's games this season, both Premier League and Carabao Cup. I was not aware. So, don't listen to a word I say. You could be right.
What do you think of this? Just quick comment from Notorious Nerd saying Ancelotti wants to make DCL into a top striker. Yeah, that's true, but didn't he play last night and did nothing, whereas Richarlison did something last night? Am I right in saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Richarlison scored a brace and DCL got taken off at half time.
Yeah, that for me worries me. If a team like Everton are winning, what was it, 5-2 or something like that last night, and DCL gets nothing, that concerns me, shall we say?
Yeah, just moved over to a Fraser Forster and McCarthy double up now. If Forster is the backup, they've got two good games. They could keep a clean sheet there, man.
You've got more pairs of flip flops than me.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, you'll be done when that hammer goes down at like 11:30 or whenever it is.
I can't, mate. I need that so bad right now. Honestly, I hate tinkering this much.
That's a bit of a pain in the tits. And that's what it gets. Over 600 people watching this evening, or listening, whatever it is you are up to, like on your drive home from work or whatever it is you are doing. Want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening. It was meant to be the Lama Lounge. It still is the Lama Lounge. It's just not on that channel. It's
the Elite Lama Lounge.
It's the Elite Lama Lounge, yeah. We moved from Studio 2 back into Studio 1. Thanks very much to Steve-O for that. But he has kindly stayed so relaxed looking there in his dressing gown, loving life. So we want to say thank you very much to him, and obviously the people at Elite FPL for having us on their channel whilst we fix the technical issues over in Studio 2 on ours. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. If you haven't already subscribed to Elite, who are just full of content, then I don't know why you haven't hit that subscribe button, because you're totally missing out. As for us in the Lama Lounge, we're just a new channel. I'm getting used to the technical issues and the bugs that we get with OBS. I will work hand in hand with Jason, hopefully when he gets time, and we'll fix those technical issues. So please swing past the Lama Lounge as well and give us a little subscription over there. It's much appreciated. Already over 150 subscribers, and we're just 2 streams in. Or 3, whatever the case may be. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in this evening. I think, to be honest, boys, we're at 7 o'clock. We've had a right good rant about everything and anything. I suppose we could end up wrapping things up, really, unless there's anything in the chat that anyone just wants to air and get off their chest in the chat. This is your chance to do so now, and the 3 of us will give it a go.
Well,
sorry, Steve-O.
Well, let me just ask Boona one question that I always ask our guests whenever they come on the show talking about their wildcards. It's the usual question, Boona, which is this, and I'll bring your team up on screen right now. There it is. Of that 11...
You're bringing the Foden team up, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
He's had
so I've already got a couple.
He's had 12 and 10.
Have you got the new one in the Discord, by any chance? If you upload the latest one, I mean it's a bit of a we can still have this one up, because there will be players in there which are guaranteed to be in there by 11 o'clock. So which players in here are guaranteed to be in there by 11 o'clock on Saturday?
Okay.
Starting
11.
In the 11, yes.
Whilst you're thinking about that, I'll just answer JNO's question in the chat. Lama Lounge, who is the best wildcat? Nim's definitely the prettiest, but your smile does it for me, JNO. So we'll be catching you soon.
1,
On you go, Boona.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 of the 11, okay.
Mitchell, Saiz. Actually, I can't even say Saiz, because I said tomorrow I might go down to Vinagre if he plays. So Mitchell, Podence, De Bruyne, Sterling, Salah, and Jimenez.
I'm very jealous that you're able to have the 3, Salah, Sterling, and De Bruyne. I think that's a fantastic 3-man midfield, because I know Jason's going to be having Salah this weekend. I've actually told him to bring in...
He's done it, hasn't he? Aubameyang to Salah. He's already done it.
Yeah, but he's thinking of doing a -4 to bring in, I think I said Martial or Werner. I can't remember which one it is. But
who's he got there in that position at the minute?
I'll bring up his team and then we'll...
It's like what Dread's saying in the chat, though, Steve-O. I'm the same as Dread. How the hell Boona gets so many points when he flip-flops so much is beyond Dread's...
It's a talent, ladies. It's a talent. One day. Before we do wrap up, though, there's something I wanted to say, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to do a roundup of the money you guys owe for effing and blinding. So, Steve-O, we have you at £7.53. I'm currently sat at £4.50. Lama, you're sat at £35.49. Yes. Is that the Scottish coming out in you, Lama?
Ah, fuck knows.
Yeah, fuck's sake. All right, shit. £7. Sorry. Yeah.
We'll take a couple of questions then, Steve, from the chat, shall we?
Just before you do, I've got Jason's team up on screen. So I told him to get rid of Jesus and bring in Werner. That's what I told him to do for a -4. So
don't do that. I think Jesus could do all right. Although, having said that, I think Werner probably outscore him, even though he scores. Man, I need the wild card deadline ASAP, you know.
Was it Dre said? I know that's the other thing. You could end up over tinkering. And my mum always said if you over tinker it falls off. So I don't know. Take what you want from that. Bivek saying in the chat, Werner, Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, Jesus, Wood for wildcard. That's
How many do you want to choose out of that?
I was just. So what is he picking? 3 out of them? I would probably go Werner, Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez. That's the 3 I would pick out of those.
I'd go Werner, Jimenez, and fuck the rest.
Quick fire then, Steve-O, I'll direct this one at you. Thomas McStay, Son in a 3-5-2 or Jimenez in a 3-4-3?
Say that. Oh, right, here we go. Son in a 3-5-2 or Jimenez a 3-4-3. Jimenez in a 3-4-3.
Jimenez all day.
Buna, Theodore's asking, what do you guys think about Dunn 4.0? Will he start from now on? I know you two mentioned him earlier on.
Yes.
From now on, I don't know. This week, yes.
Gunna's asking, Lama, would you go with Son and Rodriguez or Bruno and Podence? Oh, come on, man. You can't do that to me. Bruno and Podence, I would think, going forward for the long haul. As long as you've got DCL up front.
Yeah.
No, I don't have the tats, Polly. I think that's us then, isn't it?
Yep.
Steve-O, who you captaining?
I'm going with the history, and it looks like I'm probably going to go with Salah because he's had more goals than De Bruyne, but it is quite literally it could be a toss of a coin. Genuinely.
I'm just gonna translate that. I'm going with Salah because he plays on Monday night, and that is the last game of the game week.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I can see that. Polly's just saying that it's 1-0 to Tottenham. Lamela? Is it? Is it scored? Possibly.
Yeah, apparently.
Bandwagon. Lamela
just
limo.
putting in my wild card, boys.
The Lamela limo is on the move. Golf addicts. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's a full team. Oh no.
Son
I think we'll wrap it up.
He's back in my team. Son assist.
Right. I've got you. Buna, I think if memory serves me right, on the Lama Lounge, it's your turn to wrap the show up. You've got a full audience here in front of you. But before you do, I just want to say thank you first and foremost to Steve-O. You've been an absolute pleasure to be in the Lama Lounge. Hope you've enjoyed yourself and just sat back, been chilled out and relaxed. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Thank you to over 600, nearly 650 people that tuned in to listen to us rabbling on about all things FPL and some personal stuff that we chatted about right at the start, just to show and prove that we are actually all human beings here at the end of the day. So no, thank you to everyone in the chat. Buna, I will leave it to you to wrap up, but good night. Take care of yourselves, folks. Enjoy your evening, and we will catch you either in here in Elite, or we will catch you over in the Lama Lounge very, very soon. But over to you, Buna.
Perfect. No, I just want to start by saying a massive, massive, massive thank you to you, Steve-O, for helping us out. Obviously, this was intended to be on the Lama Lounge, but due to technical issues, we had to move over. So really appreciate it. And obviously, there's a fair few more viewers on here than we would have got. So that's always really appreciated. With that said, guys, you know what I'm going to ask you. If you've enjoyed the stream and you want to support Elite FPL, the one thing to do is hit that like button. 600 of you still watching, 122 likes. Get those likes up. Help promote this channel. And yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed the stream. Good luck with your transfers and decisions ahead of game week 3. And all the best. Steve, thank you again.
No, thank you.
Sorry, just quickly, Steve-O, just before you wrap up, just want to say, Matt, we did miss you. We missed the joy that you bring about all things Arsenal. So we look forward to getting you back in the lounge next week when you're back for work.
Goodness gum. Yeah, thank you.
Steve-O.
Well, I'm not going to bang on about the same old thing. All I will say is that please just check out the Lama Lounge channel. I'm sure Buna will just post the link in the description. If you've enjoyed tonight's show, it's the same thing over on theirs. It's just 3 lads having a laugh and everything about all things fantasy football and the banter between the 3 of them regarding their own teams and everything. And it's just a pleasure doing it. It's been a lot of fun. And all I will say is just basically join myself and Jason tomorrow at 7 p.m. when we are going to be doing the preview show and, of course, looking over the history. And I have a trivia question tomorrow as well, which I know Jason's going to love. So, let's see if Jason gets that right. Anyhow, Buna, Lama, been great. All I will say is that cheers, everybody, and see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. p.m.
Cheers, all.
Superstar. Thank you. Take care, folks.